Well, each week a group of insiders joins me to offer a perspective on some of the week's top stories. This week sounding off on the state's big plans to grow its massive hardwood industry. Cummins marking 100 years in business, and the National Urban League Conference coming back to Indiana. Our insiders this week are Bose Public Affairs Group Principal Victor Smith, also Winston Terrell Group Principal Robin Winston, and Hathaway Strategies President Ann Hathaway. And welcome one and all to the Insiders. And we start off, and Victor is a former Indiana Secretary of Commerce. This is a topic I think you know very well, but a lot of people would not know the size and just incredible impact of the hardwood industry. The state releasing a strategy, a comprehensive strategy to really try to leverage what is a $10 billion industry.
That's right. I mean, people know intuitively that we're an agricultural state, but I think people think of corn, soybeans, right? Maybe duck, even you think of,
right.
but not, you know, on top of mind is not forestry, and it's an incredible size of, you know, it's a $10 billion part of the $300 billion state economy, so it's a very large piece.
And what I thought was interesting is I thought this would be really focused on the southern part of the state, and that's a big part of it, but it really is statewide. Northern Indiana has a lot, and in a lot of smaller areas, rural areas that are struggling too.
This is a statewide industry and 70,000 jobs statewide. To Victor's point, this is a big deal.
It's a great ambassadorship for the state. I mean, you're talking about, you know, Kimball and Hard Rock Maple from Tell City being able to be projected out to other parts of the country. It's good investment for our state. We
continue to be a major, obviously, manufacturing state. I think the most manufacturing intensive state in the country, and a big part of that is Cummins, the Columbus-based company, big presence in Indianapolis now as well, marking 100 years in business. So to have a global company like that here that really is a leader in so many ways in the manufacturing sector is a big deal.
It's not just manufacturing, it's also technical. They're getting ready for future investments, future decisions being made. J. Orwin Miller made such an imprint on Columbus, made such an imprint on our nation in civil rights. I mean, you have a tremendous corporate citizen.
Well, and I should mention, because you bring that up, and I think it's great, great example of how a company, a corporate culture can impact a community.
Oh yeah, you could talk to Tracy Souza that runs the Heritage Fund down there. They've made an indelible impact in Columbus and the places around there.
And we're lucky to have them downtown in Indianapolis right now.
That's right.
It's really changed the footprint on our downtown.
And especially that east side.
Right, it's a $20+ billion company, so it's, you know, their contribution goes a lot more than just being a good social leader. I mean, they're such a huge company.
Healthcare, a big part of the economy as well. Big news this week, Community Health Network began receiving patients at its East Side Hospital in Indianapolis, $175 million project. And again, the size of that project is obviously huge, but where it's located, where community began, on the east side that's had its challenges, really is a big boost.
Big boost over there. Streets, you know, contiguous streets to it, Beaux-Art and Ritter and those places, all doing well. Warren Township, it's a key anchor in that side of town. But it also makes sure that people have access to quality care. It's hard to get to some of the suburban hospitals if you live in the 46218 and those zip codes that are impacted by that. So it is there, it's accessible, it makes a big difference.
Also on the health side, the IU Med School announced this week, and I think this illustrates the impact of healthcare research that's happening in Indiana. The IU School of Medicine received a record amount of funding from the National Institutes of Health, $150 million, and that usually has a multiplier effect when it comes in to a state as well. So that's an area where government is a positive, right?
Well, we always talk about private partnerships, right? Public partnerships. So this is another one. Also, think about the creative talent that we're getting at the medical school and at IU as a result of this.
Yeah. You know, we mentioned Cummins, and I thought you brought up a good point. The Cummins story, very positive. On the negative side, 300 jobs being cut at an old-time manufacturer in Peru, Schneider Electric, that it's said its Square D site in Peru will be leaving, going to other states, going to Mexico, and 300 people out of work.
It's devastating for the community of Purdue. I think over time that it'll be transformational with regard to what types of jobs may come to that area. I think it's a sign of the times, though. Manufacturing leaving and tech jobs coming.
As the state, talk about that, Victor, because you were very much involved in that whole.
You know, as Ann said, I mean, it's not great news for Peru. At the same time, you know, with a 3.6% unemployment rate, time, I think those jobs will be absorbed. And I think as people look at additional training to get into the advanced manufacturing jobs, I think those are absorbed. I do. Available workforce is what companies are looking for. They will find the workers because they're at such high demand.
Yep. The convention business, tourism, meeting business is obviously a multi-million-dollar business in Indiana. Good news, big news for Indianapolis this week. The National Urban League announcing that after 25 years it's coming back with its summer conference to Indianapolis, an event that is expected to have an economic impact of maybe $10 million.
That's huge.
But also bringing a very much a national entity and a national event here, and the spotlight may be getting presidential candidates.
Absolutely.
So the impact goes beyond the dollars.
Oh, it goes
in a sense.
beyond the number of people attending, the opportunity to show off our city, the speakers that will come. These are the kind of conventions we want to continue to bring here, and you know, credit to the folks who just continue to recruit and bring these conventions here.
You know, we should adopt the slogan that Atlanta had, which was "the city too busy to hate." And a perfect example is bringing the Urban League here. This is an entity that really works on issues of concern to the African American community. Having them here will be great. All the more impetus for us to pass something that would make a difference on hate, and all the more impetus to have people come in here. Ann was teasing me earlier about the number of candidates on our side of the aisle. If there's 20, you may
it
see
could fill a hotel.
It'll be great for visiting, but you may see 18 or 20 of them here.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
But we're talking about, again, the National Urban League and the types of issues and policies that will be discussed and that will be in the spotlight right here in Indianapolis.
Well, they're going to talk about economic empowerment, which is crucial, and that's always been their bellwether. But they're also going to talk about how we're merging technology to expand educational opportunities. And I think you have former Mayor Morial as the president, former mayor of New Orleans. I think that'll be great for our city and to help put us on the map once again.
In the education realm, a story that certainly was reported this week, but I don't think got enough attention, and that's at Marion University. Dan Elsner, the president there, got an extension through 2025 on his contract. He has done an amazing job at really transforming that school on so many levels.
You know, I think they just signed him up for another 5 years, which is great. I think they're 2 years into a 10-year plan. And let's just be honest. I mean, the transformation that's gone on at Marion University under his watch is just incredible. Go Knights! I mean,
Well, Dan's been a leader in education for a long time, and he is diligent, works hard, and is really truly making a difference. He spent a number of years in K through 12 and now higher education, and we're lucky to have him in this community and keeping him here.
I remember when they started football, people made fun
Yes,
of it.
they did.
Yes.
Right. He talked about it on this show years ago.
People made fun of it and said it would bring down the status of the school and all that, but that didn't happen. And they won national championships.
Yes.
So they've expanded to a different demographic of student going to that school, which is good for our community.
You also should do a quick mention that Suresh Garamella at Purdue, who really was executive vice president for research and partnerships, 4 straight years of record numbers of research dollars at the university.
Huge loss. You know, when I served at the IEDC, I mean, Suresh was a tremendous ambassador, always there. Always on point, articulate, great ambassador for Purdue, and we're going to miss him.
Yep, be going to the University of Vermont. Yeah, of Vermont. So we'll see how that plays out. And a final topic, on a sad note, Alice Dye, the First Lady of Gulf Architecture, passed away about a week ago or so. And Pete and Alice Dye, iconic names in the golf world, legends in the golf world, with that big Hoosier connection.
Pete and Alice Dye were partners from the beginning, and over 150 golf courses, international recognition, and at the end of the day, they're just Hoosiers.
Yeah, and there's great video of them at the Children's Museum we're watching right now as they christened that golf hole that's part of the big sports legends complex here. I'll give you the final word.
Well, great statue of them at Crooked Stick. I mean, bringing golf tournaments in here. Tremendous work at French Lick. I mean, just iconic.
Yeah, very good. Well, with that, we'll put a wrap on another edition of The Insiders. Anne Hathaway, Robin Winston, Vic Smith, thanks very much, and we'll be right back after this.